From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. I'm Augusta McDonnell. I hope everybody has a great Christmas Eve. We have your forecast for that in just a few minutes. But first, our top story. One state senator is pushing for change today, aiming to protect some of our most vulnerable citizens from victimization. Right now, there's little to no additional consequence for caregivers. Billings Senator Mike Yakowicz is aiming to push forward an amended law for stiffer penalties. It's all motivated by a case in Billings where a caregiver beat a patient to death in February. Our Haley Monaco dives deeper into the bill and what it means to those helping bring it forward.
A caregiver who worked with residential support services faces deliberate homicide charges after allegedly beating a resident back in February, which later led to his death. Now the organization is pushing for change.
What do you want for Christmas?
The residents inside this group home are gearing up for Christmas.
The Broncos phone.
They've asked for Denver Broncos related gifts, and the caregivers are dedicated to making it happen.
It's an honor to be able to do this.
Even when it's not around the holidays, manager Kara Brower makes every day special, something she sees as the responsibility of any caregiver.
I'm extremely protective of my clients. I love them to death, like they were my own family.
But in February of this year, tragedy struck at a residential support services group home in the Heights.
There was a caregiver who is alleged to have done this.
The group homes care for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The man who was killed was 37 years old, had the cognitive function of a young child, was blind, nonverbal, and weighed only 108 pounds.
It was devastating.
According to court documents, the caregiver, 19-year-old Dante Anthony Garriott, became frustrated with the resident and started to kick him, then punched him in the body and face with a closed fist.
How could somebody do that to anybody, let alone someone who is so vulnerable and needs the love and protection of the staff that work in their home?
Currently, there are no additional legal consequences for caregivers beyond what is already imposed on the general public.
In the caregiving business, there has to be a higher standard.
But working together with Senator Mike Yakowicz, the organization hopes to change that.
The bill that we're intending to bring forward here is to enhance the penalty for someone who hurts or injures someone who is under a paid caregiver. We're not creating a whole new law. It's just an enhancement.
The bill would not apply to acts of negligence, but deliberate intent.
Elderly, child, disabled, we value you. You're 100% a citizen of this state, and we will do our best to take care of you.
Holding caregivers to a higher standard and protecting the vulnerable population.
It's needed now more than ever.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
We're into the final hours before Christmas Day. We have our local forecast coming up. But first, what's going on across the U.S. for this Christmas Eve? Your headlines for the 48s. Majority of the U.S. relatively mild conditions leading up to Christmas. Portions of the south central states, showers and thunderstorms developing today. And the West Coast region, heavy rain and mountain snow return this evening. What about us? Is anybody going to see a white Christmas this year? We'll let you know with those local forecasts coming up.
In today's leading look, the governor's office announced state trust land revenue generated $92 million for public schools in 2024. The Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation manages state trust lands with revenue allocated to the Office of Public Instruction for Montana's elementary, middle, and high schools. According to the governor's office, a large portion of this year's funding was the result of multi-year hydroelectric leases. These funds are typically used for everything from technology upgrades to curriculum development and facility improvements. And Montana leaders are asking healthcare providers to update their information on file. They want to make sure they continue to receive Medicaid payments. The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services says providers have to go through a federally required revalidation process every 5 years to participate in the state's Medicaid program. If businesses don't submit their updates by the end of this year, their Medicaid payments could be suspended. The Public Health Department says more than 8,400 providers have already completed the process, but another 1,400 still do need to file. This process is not related to the patient's Medicaid redetermination the department went through earlier this year. Providers can check their status on the state's Medicaid provider website. And a Billings business owner is searching for justice. Second Chance Marketplace owner Tim Harris says he had his wallet and phone stolen, with the suspect spending thousands of dollars at different places in Billings Sunday night. Harris has contacted police, who confirmed they are investigating this incident. And in East Helena, a man made an appearance in court on Monday related to a standoff that happened this weekend. MTN's Madeline Heath has the latest.
An East Helena man is accused of pointing a gun at a woman. The incident resulted in a standoff that lasted for multiple hours over the weekend. 51-year-old Harley McIrvin appeared in Justice Court on Monday on 3 charges, including felony assault with a weapon and misdemeanor partner or family assault and obstruction. On Friday evening, East Helena Police Department were called to the 600 block of East Lewis Street in East Helena at about 6:45 p.m. Court documents say McIrvin allegedly pointed a loaded gun at a woman after an altercation. The woman called 911, and East Helena Police and Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office arrived on scene. McIrvin would not leave the residence or surrender to law enforcement, so the SWAT team was called on scene. Agencies tried to negotiate for multiple hours before removing McIrvin from the residence and arresting him just after 2 a.m. Justice of the Peace Mark Piskalich set bond at $50,000. Reporting in Helena, I'm Madeline Heath, MTN News.
In Gallatin County, a video of a man who appears to be beating a dog took the community by storm this weekend. MTN's McDonnell has more information as authorities continue to investigate. We want to warn you, some content in this report is graphic.
A home in Bozeman captured disturbing video on a Ring doorbell camera of a man beating a dog. As the community has been taken by storm, the sheriff's office is now investigating. In this video taken the night of December 20th, a man appears to be beating a dog.
We don't see this very often. This was one that was kind of an anomaly. To have it caught on camera was something that was new to us as well.
The incident was reported Friday night on East Baseline Road and Walker Road, north of Bozeman. At around 10 a.m. Saturday morning, the video was posted to Facebook. With thousands of views, community members are looking for any information to help identify the man who appears to be beating a dog. Captain Clint Harper of the Sheriff's Office said they received many calls as the video circulated.
A lot of us had seen it on social media prior, and then trying to figure out where exactly this happened, what happened, and try to get as much information as we possibly could.
A GoFundMe has raised nearly $2,500. $1,500 will be given to anyone who can identify the man from the video. Captain Harper says gathering information with grainy footage is difficult.
You get a Ring doorbell camera, it's pretty good quality, but you can't see a license plate. There's minimal things that you can see in the video, so it's difficult to follow up on those types of leads when that's all you have is about a 15-second video.
While the clip is hard to watch, Captain Harper says,
yes, we do have a person of interest that we will be speaking to shortly. I can't say much more about it with it being ongoing, but we do have a person of interest.
And for an incident of this nature,
what we're looking at is a cruelty to animals investigation.
Captain Harper says animal abuse investigations are few and far between in the Gallatin Valley.
It's great for us to see that the community trusts us and that they're willing to reach out to give us information, and we've had plenty of tips.
In Belgrade, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
A Billings nonprofit is receiving a major boost forward this holiday season. The Downtown Billings Rotary Club donated $2,000 to the Hannah House Food Pantry as they aim to help women with substance use issues. Our Matt Carmack has more.
This holiday season, the Downtown Billings Rotary Club donated $2,000 to the Hannah House for women in recovery to get those healthy and nutritious meals they need in order to thrive.
I mean, it is just amazing. People don't realize the little things in life make a huge difference.
Inside of the Hannah House Food Pantry, you'll find a freezer stocked with meat, fruits, and vegetables, and ingredients to make home-cooked meals. It may not seem like a lot to some, but for people like Christy Davidson, it means the absolute world.
The care that we receive is just amazing. And then you think about, out on the streets and how hard it is. So I just feel really blessed that I've got a place a nice, warm place, safe.
Christy has been staying at the Hannah House for about 2 months as she strives to get back on her feet. Before arriving, she was fighting active addiction and is now thankful for the help in getting a pillow under her head and a warm place to sleep.
They're reunifying with their kids, and they need a safe space to live, a safe space to reunify, a place where they can live in recovery and have the lessons that recovery brings.
Kayla Perdue is the director of the Community Leadership Development Incorporation, the faith-based foundation that manages the Hannah House. Caleb says grants like this will not only help these women with their physical health, but their mental health as well.
First and foremost, in sobriety and any health journey, it's really a foundation of food is so important. If people are getting the right nutrition, then their brains are getting the appropriate nutrition to be able to make healthy decisions.
For Christy and other women living in the house, being able to grab food at any moment is something they are grateful for and don't take for granted.
The food pantry here is unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You aren't in need of anything.
Besides purchasing food and ingredients for the house, the grant also allows the residents to have their weekly family dinner, cooked and prepared by the house's director, Jessica Smith.
So we do Thursday night dinners, and I would say that is probably one of the most exciting nights of the week for the women.
A home-cooked meal, which sometimes can be more priceless than any other Christmas present.
We're more like a family here.
I'm just really happy with what I have.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.